Thanks to a farm gate value of more than $250 million, Georgia has been the country's leader in pecan production for the past 17 years.
Yeah, and that's why events like the Southeastern Georgia Pecan Field Day are so important, as growers got tips on how to prevent disease as well as increase yield. Damon Jones has the story.
While you might have heard the old saying that money doesn't grow on trees, don't tell that to these pecan producers, as they've seen the price and demand for their product reach record levels over the past few years. And for that reason, more and more farmers are looking to get into the business.
We've definitely seen a big increase in the number of people interested in growing pecans. We've probably seen over the last 5 years at least around 20,000 new acres of pecans going in.
That's why field days such as this one at Parker Brothers Farm in Baxley is so important, as it gives both new and veteran growers helpful tips on how to properly manage their orchard, while also pointing out some of the difficulties. And just like last year, disease was a major problem early this growing season.
And we had wet weather end of last summer, had a lot of disease carried over. This spring it started out wet again in April and May. I mean, we're in a dry spell now, but April and May were very wet. And so we had a lot of early season scab on the leaves and on the wood and on the young nuts.
However, unlike last year, Mother Nature was much more kind later in the season, which should give growers plenty of optimism heading into their harvest.
Since it turned dry, about June, that's actually been a benefit for us. Where we have irrigation, it certainly helps with the disease control because we don't have to spray nearly as much, and we had so much disease out there early, it's really helped to curtail that a little bit.
Speaking of diseases, scab was once again the main focus, and a big reason for that is because farmers having struggled to control the problem this year more than ever. That's why the University of Georgia has reached out to growers across the state to help find a solution.
Well, our front line of defense has been fungicides, and that's what I was talking about here today mainly, is that we're seeing resistance develop to several of our main fungicides. And so that's something we desperately need to get a lot more information about. So doing the grower-wide, statewide assay that we did this year where growers could send us leaves was the first big step in us in trying to understand what the fungicide sensitivity is and how it's distributed across the state.
As for what can be done to maximize yields, giving the trees enough space and sunlight is a good start.
I'll be talking a little bit about hedging pecan trees, a new way of pruning that we're trying to look at that may help to keep the production up, control the tree size a little more where we can get better spray coverage on them.
While the past couple of years have been very good for the pecan industry, other nuts such as pistachios and almonds have made up some ground by ramping up their marketing. That's why the National Board is recommending going forward with a federal marketing order, which is a grower-initiated program overseen by the USDA.
Pecans have a great story. We're healthy, we're preferred, chefs love us, we're versatile. We've just not told our story very well. So we stack up real well. The consuming public, whether it be in the U.S. or China or Singapore or Korea, Europe, they don't know pecans as well as we hope that eventually they will.
Reporting from Baxley, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.